everybody, I am Chrissy D. Smith, the one and only. Today I'm going to preview some movies that are coming soon to theaters, from Pioneer Pictures and Rock Films, directed by Peter Strickland and starring Tsitsi Badbe Newton, Monica Swin, and Shari Diana, a woman who studies butterflies and moths, tests the limits of her relationship with her lover. Let's hope she doesn't get butterflies in her stomach. Duke of Burgundy, coming to theaters January 23rd. This film is not rated. This movie seems to have some sense of humor. The main thing I want to see is, will her lover leave her, or will he accept her for her? Also coming soon to theaters, from the studios of Black White, Sunlight Productions, and Treehouse Films, comes a story about a grieving widower who is drawn into a custody battle over his granddaughter, whom he helped raise her entire life. Not a battle of race, but a battle of love. Directed by Mike Bender and starring Kevin Costner, Octavia Spencer, and Jillian Jacobs. The movie is called Black or White. Coming to theaters January 30th. Rated PG-13. This movie entails a great deal of controversy for most places in southeastern Missouri, where racism is higher than what we can see. Having a custody battle between a white grandfather and his granddaughter's black family would be spoken about for many times to come. However, in today's society, we have a black president and so many other jobs that are now open to African Americans. I don't see the point in making something like this unless you want people to actually get something about being different. For religious view, Jesus told us to love everyone no matter race or religion or whatever. You should always pray for them if you feel some form of negativity stemming from them. Honestly, to put it fairly, and I don't know if this will happen in the movie, but each guardian should have custody over the said child. Why? It's balance and compromise. Like with joint custody battles between divorced parents, sometimes there is a set schedule in place. Mom gets the kids on every other week, or dad sees them on the weekends, or never at all. I feel that this movie won't do exactly as I have said it might. I didn't read that, I only thought it. And last but not least, here is another upcoming movie. From the mind of George Lucas, directed by Gary Rydstrom, and it stars Evan Rachel Wood, Elijah Kelly, Kristen Chenoweth, and Alan Cumming. And a fairy tale inspired by A Midsummer Night's Dream, and that's centered around some mythical creatures excluding unicorns. Our faithful friends are followed by their misadventures and sparked by the battle over a powerful potion. This movie can be watched, loved, and adored by all ages. Meaning, of course, you like mythical animated creatures. Produced by Industrial Light and Magic and Lucasfilm, Strange Magic is in theaters January 23rd. It is rated PG. I have a very big interest in this film. I will probably watch it, but you listeners, do what you want to do.
If you want to prevent crime in your neighborhood, here's a tip. Invite your neighbors in for a cup of coffee. Then you can talk about the potential problems you see on your streets and what you can do about them. You can even invite your local police officer to be a part of the conversation. Who'd have thought a cup of coffee can combat crime? Want to learn more? Go to weprevent.org for other ways to take a bite out of crime. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Justice, Crime Prevention Coalition of America, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Hey guys, it's Hannah, and today I'm going to talk about upcoming movies. The first movie is Past the Light, coming to theaters on February 6th. Past the Light is written by Victor Hawks and directed by Malcolm Goodwin. It stars Cameron Pilatus. Past the Light tells the story of Steve Bellafora, a 17-year-old high school senior who decides to run for Congress in order to protect his faith that he so loves. The second movie is True Story, coming to theaters on January 23rd. True Story is a drama, mystery, and a thriller. It is written by Michael Finkel and directed by Rupert Gold. It stars James Franco, Jonah Hill, and Felicity Jones. The movie is based on a true story and is about a relationship between a journalist, Michael, and an FBI wanted murderer, Christian, who for years lived outside the U.S. under Finkel's name.
You either know one, you have one, or you are one. The Duff, written by Josh Kagan and directed by Ari Sandel, stars Mae Whitman. The Duff is a comedy and will be showing in theaters on February 20th, 2015. The Duff is about a high school senior who has been labeled the Duff, designated ugly fat friend, by her pretty and more popular friends. A jock set out to help her become more attractive and popular, so she is no longer the duff.
This winter, don't get caught in the cold. Make sure your car is ready to take on the hard weather. So here's a few tips to keep you safe. Rule number 1, always wear your seatbelt, drive slow, always make sure someone knows where you're headed, and try to keep extra supplies to stay warm in your car. For more information, go to www.nsc.org.
Hello, and welcome to the Alchemist Show. I'm Josiah Thompson, and this week I will be talking to you about some movies that are coming out soon. The first movie is Black Hat. It will be released on January 16th, 2015, and stars Chris Hemsworth, Viola Davis, and Wei Tang. The director is Michael Mann, and the production studio is Legendary Pictures. The plot is, a convict and his American and Chinese partners hunt a high-level cyber criminal network from Chicago to Los Angeles to Hong Kong to Jakarta. Me personally, I'm kind of excited to see it. I really like a lot of Chris Hemsworth's work outside of just playing Thor, and Viola Davis is an excellent actress who never seems to come up short. With movies like The Help and Prisoners and 2 Oscar nominations under her belt, I think that she will just add on to the movie. And with Michael Mann as the director and directing such movies as Heat, The Aviator, and Public Enemies, I think he will give us a movie that will deliver. Watching the previews, it reminds me a lot of the Bourne movies. It seems to have that same cinematography style and is a thriller, which are always fun to watch. I think this will be a lot of fun to watch and will leave you on the edge of your seat. The next movie is called American Sniper. It releases January 16th, 2015. Stars Bradley Cooper, Sienna Miller, and Kyle Gallner. The director is Clint Eastwood, and the production company is Warner Brothers. The plot is, Navy SEAL sniper Chris Kyle's accuracy saves countless lives on the battlefield and turns him into a legend. But back home to his wife and kids after 4 tours of duty, however, Chris finds that it's a war he can't leave behind. The movie is for sure the next movie that I really want to see. I saw the previews of this movie, and it instantly became the next movie on my top list to see movies in theaters. I like war movies as it is, and the fact that it's based on a true story will put even more emotion and meaning behind it. I really like Bradley Cooper being cast as the main character also. He is more known for the Hangover trilogy and the recent Guardians of the Galaxy, which are not serious movies at all, but I really like how he has taken up a role as a real-life soldier. He always gives a good performance and seems to never disappoint, no matter what type of movie or role. Hearing that Clint Eastwood being the director for sure adds points to the potential of this movie, because he has directed amazing movies such as $1 Million Baby and Gran Torino. I think this movie will be a big hit in the box office and critically. The last war movie I saw was Lone Survivor, and if American Sniper can add the same amount of emotion and imagery as Lone Survivor did, then it will be a big hit.
Another movie that I think will be good is called Black Sea. It is going to be released on January 23rd, 2015. The movie stars Jude Law, Scott McNairy, and Ben Mendelsohn. The director is Kevin MacDonald. The production studio is Focus Features. The plot is, in order to make good with his former employers, a submarine captain takes a job with a shadowy backer to search the depths of the Black Sea for a submarine rumored to be filled with gold. When I first heard about this movie, I didn't think much of it and kind of overlooked it. Jude Law is a great actor, so I decided to take a look at the trailer. Now I think it's a movie that could possibly be a sleeper critically. I think it will be a really good thriller that will not let you take your eyes off the screen. At first, just reading the plot itself, it doesn't really sound like it will be this thriller action movie, but after watching the trailer, it has all the potential to be a really good thriller. After watching the trailer, it made me even more excited to see this movie. I think it will balance action with thriller nicely, and it will be a good quality movie.
Do you like working with cameras? How about being in front of the camera? If yes, digital media would be a perfect fit for you.
Hi, I'm Stan Cook. I'm the instructor of the Digital Media Program at the Perryville Area Career and Technology Center. The class is a 2-year program. I have students for a 3-hour block every day, both semesters, and when they graduate, they can earn credits to Mineral Area College.
My favorite part of digital media is all the projects that we do. We use cameras a lot. Most of our work is done individually, on our computers. Choosing digital media as my 3-hour block was a really good decision. For more information, go to www.perryville.k12.mo.us or call 547-7500, extension 278.
Well, good evening, listeners. This is Dizzy J bringing you the news on the upcoming movies, The Kingsman: Secret Service, and the second Hot Tub Time Machine. Here's what Kingsman's about. The actor Taron Egerton plays this young punk kid who gets enlisted into a secret service station in the United Kingdom called the Kingsman. His recruiter, Harry, played by Colin Firth, chose him because he sees potential in the boy. Later on, the main bad guy, named Valentine, shows up with hopes of killing off the human population with a bioweapons. And who is this madman with visions of annihilation? Samuel L. Jackson, that's who. I have high hopes for this movie. The more previews I see of it, the less likely it is to disappoint. This 20th Century Fox film will be released on February 13th of this year. The next movie is the newest installment of the time-traveling adventures of our four friends and hot tub. Although director Steve Pink cut the main character, Adam, played by John Cusack, the movie still looks hilarious. Jacob, played by Clark Duke, Lou, played by Rob Corddry, and Nick, played by Craig Robinson, return to the hot tub with their new friend, Adam. Or perhaps it's the old one. IMDb wasn't clear on that. Anyway, he plays by Adam Yates Jr., and they end up going to the future. What happens is Lou gets shot, and they keep going back and forth throughout time and try and set things right. This Paramount Pictures presentation will be in theaters on the 20th of February.
On January 23rd, the Iron Curtain will be raised. To many, the Cold War consisted only of the arms race, the space race, and economic ideologies. But director Gabe Polsky will bring to light the sports race. This documentary will tell the story of Russian hockey players who were forced to play for propaganda and country. Mary Corliss of Time magazine says it's unbelievable but true. A human story that transcends decades, borders, and ideologies. See the movie that Pete Turner of Tastic Films calls incredibly heartfelt. This is Red Army. Played in select theaters.
Have you ever wondered about how to make movies or even starring in one, create music, or even animate? Well, here at the Perryville Area Career and Technology Center, we can help you achieve those dreams. This 2-year class enrollment is called Digital Media. Stan Cook, our teacher, can teach you how to write a script, create a storyboard, operate a camera, how to newscast, and much, much more. These teachings can let you become an animator, a producer, a director, an actor or actress, a newscaster, or a cameraman. Whatever multimedia production that you want to go into, Digital Media can aid you on this adventure. There are many opportunities waiting for you in this class. For more information, contact Stan Cook at 573-547-7500, extension 278, or go online to www.perryville.k12.mo.us. Thanks, and have a great day.
Hello, I'm Braden Boyer, and I'll be telling you about the 2 comedy movies that I'm interested in that is coming out soon to the United States. The first is Paddington. Paddington is about a Peruvian bear that travels to London in search of a home. While feeling lost and alone at the station, he meets the Brown family, who offers him a temporary haven. This movie is being directed by Paul King, and the production company is Studio Canal. This family movie stars Ben Whishaw as Paddington's voice, Sally Hawkins as Mrs. Brown, and Hugh Bonneville as Mr. Brown. I do have high hopes for this movie, for it is made by the producers of Harry Potter. The day of the release was last week, Friday, January 16th. The second movie is Mordecai, an action movie about the debonair art dealer and part-time rogue, Charlie Mordecai, must travel across the globe to recover a stolen painting rumored to contain the code to a lost bank filled with Nazi gold. This movie is being directed by David Coep and produced by Hawaii Brothers Media. It is also starring Johnny Depp as the main character, Charles, Ewan McGregor as Inspector Martland, and Gwyneth Paltrow as Joanna. Not only that Johnny Depp is the leading role is the reason for my interest in this movie, but how ridiculously funny it will be once it comes out. And that day will be January 23rd.
Do you love sci-fi thrillers? Well, here's a movie that you'll probably enjoy called Project Almanac. The story is that a group of friends discover how to build a time machine and uses it to fix their problems. But because of this, not only their future begins to fall apart, each of them disappear one by one. This movie is directed by Dean Israelite, as well as being produced by Insurge Pictures. The actors are Johnny Weston, Amy Landecker, and Jenny Gardner. I recommend this movie to those who are into time traveling or when everything just gets out of control. This movie came out in January 13th, so if you're interested, you have the ability to watch it today.
Hey Meow, why do my hands hurt when I come inside after being in the cold?
Well, honey, you probably had frostnip.
Frostnip? What's that?
Well, it's the first stage of frostbite, which is a terrible, terrible thing to get. It's an injury that's caused when your skin starts to freeze or gets frozen. People have lost their fingers and toes to it before. That's why I always say to bundle up before you go and play, especially in the snow or freezing weather, and want you to come back inside to warm up from time to time.
Well, I want to keep my fingers and toes, so I'll listen to you.
Hello, this is Danny Fortner, and I'm going to be previewing some movies I found interesting. Not only do they intrigue me, I can't wait until they come out. First up is Cake, which comes out January 23rd. Now don't let the name deceive you, it's somewhat bitter. This movie was directed by Rob Cohen and stars some well-known actors such as Jennifer Aniston, Adriana Barraza, Sam Worthington, and William H. Macy, and it's produced by Cinelli Films. This movie is about a woman who becomes fascinated by the suicide of another woman in her chronic pain support group. This happens while she's still struggling with her own very tender personal story. Now, I think this movie is going to pull on the people's heartstrings as they witness what this woman goes through from day to day, what she's thinking, and how she deals with certain events in her life. And so far, I think this movie is going to be very popular, especially with the older crowds. The other movie I'm going to discuss is Amira and Sam, which comes out January 30th. This movie is about an Army veteran who attempts to reintegrate back into a country he hardly recognizes, while also trying to win over an Iraqi immigrant who's on the verge of being deported. This movie is directed by Sean Mullen and stars Martin Starr, Dina Shihabi, Paul Wesley, and Nathan Ockley. This movie was produced by Drafthouse Films. Now, I fell in love with the trailer almost instantly as it drew me in about a love that seemed almost impossible, and I can't wait to watch the whole movie. Along with this movie being mainly about a romance, it also seems like it'll be suspenseful and funny altogether. And I feel this is a movie anyone can watch and enjoy.
Next Door. Now this movie comes out January 23rd. It's directed by Rob Cohen and produced by Universal Studios. This movie stars Jennifer Lopez, Ryan Gosling, Kristen Chenoweth, and John Corbett. This movie is mainly about a woman who falls for a younger man shortly after her divorce. Although their affair soon takes a turn for the worst when he soon becomes obsessed over her and threatens her life. Now, I really think this movie is going to be great. The trailer only seems to give you a taste for what's about to come next, and it gives you enough suspense where you just have to see the whole movie. I also like the actors they picked out. They filled out their roles really nicely, and I just loved it. So, that's all I got for you, and have a great day.
Space heaters are nice to have if you are in one room in your house and you want to be warm, but they can also be dangerous. Sometimes space heaters can fall over and catch certain objects that are flammable on fire. 25,000 home fires and 6,000 emergency room visits are recorded each year by cause of space heaters. Place space heaters out of high traffic areas and on a level, hard, non-flammable surface, not on carpets, furniture, or countertops. Never allow pets or children near an electrical heater. Accidental contact with the space heater can result in a serious shock or burn. This is just a few of the many dangers involving space heaters. For more info on how to prevent accidents from heaters happening, visit www.safeelectricity.org.
Hi, this is Andy, and I'll be talking about two upcoming movies. The first one is The Wedding Ringer. It's a comedy/romance movie that came out on January the 16th. This movie was produced by Sony and was directed by Jeremy Gerlich. It's starring Kevin Hart as Jimmy Callahan, Josh Gad as Doug Harris, and Kelly Coco Sweden as Gretchen Palmer. Doug Harris is a socially awkward guy and has no one close enough to agree to stand by hand on the day of his wedding. Doug seeks out Jimmy, who provides best man service for guys like Doug. When Doug says he needs 7 grossmen as well, can fake friends really make Doug look good at his wedding, or will it fail? I think that this movie is worth the time to watch. It is a comedy movie with Kevin Hart, and his movies are always funny. The second movie I will be talking about is Focus. Focus is a comedy/romance/crime movie that will come out on February 27th. This movie was produced by Warner Brothers Pictures and is directed by Glenn Franco and John Raquel. It will be starring Will Smith as Nikki and Morgan Robbie as Jess Burnett. Nikki is a veteran grifter that takes a young and attractive woman under his wing. This woman's name is Jess. Things start going wrong when Nikki and Jess become romantically involved. Jess gets too close for comfort and Nikki breaks off their relationship. 3 years later, they met again in Buenos Aires, but now Jess is an accomplished female fatale and is working against Nikki. I think this movie will be good as the trailer balances action and romance. Also, there's comedy, and I enjoy comedy. The SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, is the second SpongeBob movie. This movie is to be released on February the 6th. It is produced by Nickelodeon Movie. The voiceover cast are Tom Kenny as SpongeBob, Bill Figueroa as Patrick, Roger Bumpass as Squidward, Clancy Brown as Mr. Crab, Chlorine Loris as Sandy, and Antonio Banderas will be playing an actual character as Burger Bear the Pirate. Burger Bear is a pirate in search of the final page of a magical book that makes any evil plan he writes down come true, which happened to be Mr. Crab's secret formula. When his search is complete and the formula is missing, the entire city of Bikini Bottom is in danger. SpongeBob and his gang needs to go on a quest that takes them to the surface. To save their city, the gang must retrieve the book and transform themselves into superheroes to fight Burger Bear and his crew. I'm not really looking forward to this movie because SpongeBob is pretty lame. But if you like SpongeBob, go watch it. It's your life anyway.
Hi, I'm Dizzy J. Winter can be brutal, but it's worse spending it in bed with a cold. As the winds are howling and snow is a-falling, the last thing you want is to stay in that overheated bed. Get moving and stay preoccupied. You're only doing your body worse by working it. This winter, if you find yourself sick, stay in bed and get some rest.
Coming up, 50 Shades of Grey. It's an upcoming American romantic drama film directed by Sam Taylor Johnson, with a screenplay by Kelly Marcel, based on E.L. James' best-selling novel of the same name. The film stars Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson. When Anastasia Steele, played by Dakota, a literature student, goes to interview the wealthy Christian Grey, played by Jamie, as a favor to her roommate Kate Kavanaugh, she encounters a beautiful, brilliant, and intimidating man. The innocent and naive Anna started to realize she wants him. Despite his enigmatic reserve and advice, she finds herself desperate to get close to him. Not able to resist Anna's beauty and independent spirit, Christian Grey admits he wants her too, but in his own terms. 50 Shades of Grey, its R rating, has been the subject of immense criticism. Morality in the media argue that the rating severely undermines the violent themes in film and does not adequately inform parents and patrons of the film's intense content. They also said that the MPAA was encouraging sexual violence by letting the movie by without an NC-17 rating. It is set to be released on February 13, 2015. Up next, we have What We Do in the Shadows, is a New Zealand horror comedy mockumentary film about a group of vampires who live together in Wellington, New Zealand. It follows the lives of Viago, Deegan, and Vladislav, 3 flatmates who are just trying to get by and overcome life's obstacles, like being immortal vampires who must feast on human blood. Hundreds of years old, the vampires are finding that beyond sunlight catastrophes, hitting the main artery, and not being able to get a sense of their wardrobe without a reflection, modern society has them struggling with the mundane, like paying rent, keeping up with the chore wheel, trying to get into nightclubs, and overcoming flatmate conflicts. This film will be coming to theaters near you, February 13th, 2015. Jupiter Ascending is an upcoming space opera written, produced, and directed by the Wachowskis. This intense sci-fi action film follows Jupiter Jones, played by Mila Kunis. She was born under a night sky, with signs predicting that she was destined for great things. Now grown, Jupiter dreams of the stars, but wakes up to the cold reality of a job cleaning toilets and an endless run of bad breaks. Only when Kane, played by Channing Tatum, a genetically engineered ex-military hunter, arrives on Earth to track her down, does Jupiter begin to glimpse the fate that has been waiting for her all along. This film will be hitting theaters February 6th, so check it out.
Parents know that the arts are an integral part of their kids' education. The arts help teach kids tolerance and openness, and they allow children to express themselves creatively and grow as individuals. The sad truth, however, is that today in America, kids spend more time at their lockers than they do in art classes. And every year, a little more art disappears from the curriculum. Play a part in your kids' education. Stand up and demand their fair share of art. For more information on what you can do, visit americansforthearts.org. Because the less art kids get, the more it shows. Art. Ask for more. A public service message brought to you by Americans for the Arts and the Ad Council.
Thanks for listening to The Alchemist Show, a student-produced podcast from the digital media class at the Perryville Area Career and Technology Center.